Welcome everyone. Welcome in. Classified Crime and Snoopy Detective Dog are officially live. So join us in the chat and let me know if you can hear us. Okay. Friday. Hi, Lynn. You're the first. Lynette. Sorry, I said Lynn. Lynette, you're the first one to join. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We got a lot to go over. I have some stuff I think you're going to like. I have Sarah Boone's. Yay! Thank you, Kathy Stinks. I'm glad you can hear me. Hi, Tanella. Welcome. Welcome. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes. Snoopy recorded a special intro for you, and I can play it again, maybe midstream if anybody missed it. He was... Hi, Arkaderu. Snoopy says hi. Hi, Allison. Welcome in. Welcome, everybody. Snoopy was less than enthusiastic about filming that. He was looking at me like I was crazy, but I will probably be using that reaction for future videos. So I have some call log stuff. I have her job assignment history. That's pretty much, I have a couple other things I'm still researching. But we have a few things to go over. I'm going to let everybody get in. Dandy True Crime, welcome. I've seen a few of your videos and I am enjoying them. So shout out to Dandy True Crime. He has some very funny shorts on Sarah Boone. So check that channel out. Let me show you up here. Dandy True Crime. Check him out. He or she. They have very funny shorts. Just started their channel, and I've been enjoying them very much. So make sure you check out Dandy True Crime. Sorry. Welcome in. Hello, Cindy. Let's see. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put up her, let me pull this up, her work assignment history. So let's take a look at that. Give me 1 second. I am new to using this software, so bear with me. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so here is what I got from my DOC records request. This was the last page of her incarceration summary. Aw, Kathy Stinks. You are the sweetest. It's my favorite YouTube channel too. What a coincidence. Let's see. I have some little reactions. Let me try one of them. I don't see them. Let's see. React. Here we go. Okay. This is for you, Kathy Stinks. That's just for you. Dandy True Crime. I definitely understand. I am a one-person show over here. Well, I have Snoopy, so I have kind of an advantage. I have Snoopy. So he does a lot of the investigating, I have to admit. He sniffs everything out for me, and I just display it. So we have to give all our credit to Snoopy. Aw, I think, Arcadero, thank you for hyping. I think we'll be able to hype it once it is off of live, and the replay, we might be able to hype it. Oh, thank you. Snoopy is a cutie patootie. Oh, wow. You're at a high school football game? You are a trooper for joining us, and thank you for volunteering for the band. I'm sure they appreciate that. And I'm sure it's very loud where you are, so definitely will understand if you're in the replay later. Okay, welcome in. It's so cool to see you guys all here. I've seen you in other chats, so it's very cool to see you live and chat with you live, so I'm excited. All right, so let's get into this job assignment here. So this is all of her assignments since she got to the women's reception in Lowell. So you see on December 30th, 2024, she arrived. And and she was doing her orientation. And then at the end of January, they sent her over to Lowell, still doing her orientation reception. On February 6th, she got assigned houseman, and houseman is just basically like cleaning, custodial type responsibilities. It's not specific what she would have been assigned to, but just general cleaning is what I understood it to be. Then 21 days later, she gets sent to clerk education. So that could have been library or filing or some kind of office type job, I would assume. By April 4th, she had an unassigned. And then April 10th, 6 days later, she's back to houseman. And then June 13th, she has no assignment. I'm not sure what all these X's mean. And then June 18th, she has houseman again. And August 7th, her most recent assignment is to laundry. Oh, just in time for Christmas. Yes, I'm glad. If you've been watching the Boonie Crew videos, they aren't getting as many views, but those are my favorite ones to make. I am really enjoying making them. I started out just like cropping her head onto some Barbie images, but now I've been using Gemini to generate like this one here and of her folding the laundry. Which I had a little too much fun in. So she can put staples in everyone's pants in the laundry. So how long do you think she's going to last in laundry? She's been there since August 7th, so about 2 months. What do you guys think? She's going to last or no? Hi, Miss Frida. Hi, Larry Powers. Welcome in. Larry Powers is writing our book that we're all going to pre-order as soon as it hits Amazon or wherever you publish it. But Larry Powers, welcome in. We are going to hopefully be able to get a signed copy once your book is released. I want a signed copy. I'm going to pay extra for the signed copy. I'm just going to put that out there. So go ahead and pre-sign some when you publish it. She lost her clerk job. Okay, let me see. So Larry says Sarah lost her clerk job when she got sent back to the annex. Yeah. So the annex, somebody in the comments in one of my very early, I think that first video I did where I predicted where she would go. And we were looking at Lowell. Somebody was saying that they were at Lowell and they were like, she's going to the annex all the way. And they had some experience being there and they hadn't committed, as much of a violent crime. I did reach out to them to see if they want to do an interview, but they didn't get back to me, sadly. But yeah, she was like, Sarah's going right to the annex, right to the annex. And look where she's at, Lowell Annex. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you think she's putting staples in the pants? In everybody's pants, like tailoring their pants for them, maybe in exchange for commissary? And do you think also that she's changing jobs so much because she's so unlikable, just like she's changing attorneys? Do you think that she's changing jobs like this often? Because it seems to be a lot. And I don't know if you saw one of my call log videos, I requested another inmate at Lowell who'd been there a little bit longer than Sarah. I requested their call log and we compared kind of their talk time, and theirs was significantly less than Sarah's. So I'm kind of wondering if I should request her inmate summary and see if she's had as many jobs as Sarah or if this is specific to Sarah. That's my question. Oh, hi, Tanika. Welcome in. Sarah wishes she was cute as the Barbie. That's funny. Yeah, I know. I've got to work around with the Gemini and see if I can get it to make the Barbie less cute, Somebody made a comment that I made her look like Scully from the X-Files, which I can't unsee it now. Her haircut is definitely very Scully. If you had a brother like me and had to watch the X-Files, which I did, yeah, she looks like Scully. But I am enjoying them. Oh, look at this comment. Okay. Wherever she's assigned, it's hell for the supervisor, like having a stomach flu daily. So maybe people are just kind of rotating her in and out, taking their due time and then passing her around. So good point. Allison says, I listen to your channel. I feel like I'm getting to listen and talk to you. Yay! I'm excited to talk to you guys. It's kind of fun. I was really nervous though because Allison Pruitt is very excited to see you, Tanika. Where did it go? Here it is. Yeah. Allison says hi to Tanika. Yes. Don't ruin Scully for me. Okay, sorry. I can't unsee it. Somebody in the comments said I made her look like that. The hair is too shiny and beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I need to ask Gemini to make it like more mousy and helmet-y. Where's Danielle Chavon? She puts that nice helmet on Sarah, the little army helmet. It's too cute. All right. Okay. So let's move on to, I have some call logs that I wanted to show you a couple egregious things I saw on the call log. One, so I'm going to pull it up here. Give me a second to switch screens. Let me get down to, all right, first things first. She tried calling Christina Pena again. Let me scroll down to that page and then I'll share the screen because I don't want you to see all this scrolling and get you dizzy. And there's a couple interesting collect calls here. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is August. I put these lines here to kind of separate the days. So this is all on August 17th. Now, remember her court hearing was on August 25th. So she's coming up for her family court hearing. Also on the right-hand side, I will do a separate video just on the call logs and summarize them. And I'm going to add the minutes into that chart that I made on my post tab. If you didn't see the chart, I totaled up all the minutes that she's talked to everyone that she calls regularly since she's been at Lowell. So that is on the post, but I'm going to add these newer calls into that, and then we will kind of analyze. I like to analyze that. Somebody sending you good vibes, Tanika, and blessings for next week, and I second that. Thank you, Lynette. We wish you all the best with your baby. That is always an exciting time. Who said use some snap-on Lego hair? Glass Bandicoot. That is a good idea. All right, so back to this call log. I'm getting distracted by the chat. I'm not used to not being able to fully be in the chat like I am when I'm watching other live streams. So this is a different position for me. So I cross-referenced these numbers through NumLookup, and I also used a couple other resources to kind of just like verify. But Veronica, so right here on 817, Veronica, I looked up, is Veronica May, and she had a different last name, but it also showed that she had a previous name of Veronica May Pena. And if you remember, Christina's middle name is May. So I'm pretty sure that this is Christina's mother. She tried to call on 817 at 2:30 in the afternoon. It was a free call. So obviously when it's a free call, I don't think they have preloaded money. I think she's just able to use a free call. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure who Sheila is. That's who that number came up to. I don't know if that's really who that is. I'm not really sure. Or Jennifer. I don't know who those people are. Danielle is on her visitors list. I also am not sure who that is. But then up here, you see at 2:40 in the afternoon, she contacted Alex P., which is, I'm pretty sure, Christina's brother. And then right after that, she tried to contact Christina. So that's kind of interesting to me that she kind of cluster called who I think is Christina's mother, her brother, and then Christina. None of them were accepted, but she did try to call them. So what do you guys think about that? Because she hasn't talked to Christina on the call logs since she's been at Lowell that we know of. She may be chatting with her through the tablet. We don't know. But what do you guys think about her trying to call Christina's family? Okay. Let me see. I had some other things on the call log I wanted to point out. So she makes a couple collect calls. So if you believe it or not, she calls her son collect on August 11th. She tried him through the prepay here on August 11th at 6:46 p.m., 7:37 p.m. She talked to him for 30 minutes at 6:46. She called an hour later because if you remember when I went over the phone call protocols, once you have completed a call, it locks you out for like 30 minutes or an hour before you can make another one. So right after this call, she made another call. He didn't pick up. And then she called him collect. When it highlights it in yellow like this, that's collect. So she called her son collect, which to me, the audacity of that. Listen to this comment. I can't see Looney being a clerk. Can you imagine how many questions she asked? No one would want her, quote unquote, help. In quotes for Sarah style. Thank you, M. Mays. And then I'm missing some of the chat, so sorry about that. I'm trying to keep up. But yeah, what do you guys think about her calling her son collect? And then she also called Peter collect on the 18th. So I'm going to go back up. Sorry about the scrolling. Look away if it makes you dizzy. So here's Peter on the 18th. So she tried him at 11:02 and it said pin lockout. Then she tried to collect call and he didn't accept either of those. And then on the 18th, she had another pin lockout and he didn't accept. And then she kept trying Peter. So what do you guys think about these collect calls she's making? And let me remove that. Okay. No, Christina. Okay, so Allison is asking Christina. So Nicole is the Australian pen pal that just reached out to her. Christina was in the Orange County jail as an inmate, and that's how she came to know Sarah. And Christina spoke for Sarah at her sentencing, like as a character kind of thing. She spoke for Sarah. So Christina met Sarah in Orange County jail. And the messages that Tanika got from Orange County, Christina was messaging her regularly at that time. So she could still be messaging. I don't know, but the calls are not being accepted. And then we see that Sarah also tried Christina's mom and her brother, allegedly. Vidal Sassoon, hair care products for drunk prison inmates. We don't look good because you don't look good. Thank you, Larry Powers. That is something Sarah should be able to buy in the commissary. I agree, Dandy True Crime. I would never answer a collect call from prison unless it was my child or someone, Mom, I need you to come bail me out kind of a thing. Maybe I would answer it. Not some rando person especially not from Sarah. All right, so that was Peter getting a collect call. Now, let's go up so I have these through October 8th. So let's go up. So how many of you listened to the family court when Brian was on the stand and Sarah was questioning him and she said he was talking about how sometimes their son gets upset when she calls? And she asked Brian, well, when was the last time that he got upset or something along those lines? And Brian said probably last week because she didn't call him all week. Something along those lines. So I looked at that week before her case and she absolutely said this up here with the red box is the day of her court hearing, the 25th. So at 9:38 in the morning, 9:55, and 10:39, she called Nicole 3 times. She talked to her twice. But that whole week before, she only called her son on the 24th, the day before the court. So she called him at 17:51, almost 6 p.m., and they talked for half an hour, right? That was the last person she talked to the day before the trial on the phone. All before that was just Nicole. And I'm sorry this is off a little bit. I made this into a PDF for this, but on the software I originally made it on, they're lined up. So when I record the video, they'll be more accurate. So sorry about that. Kind of shifted when I saved it as a PDF there. Yes, Cindy says, Christina was a former jailmate. I did reach out via email, but Christina never responded to me. I don't blame her. I'm sure she doesn't want to talk to me. Peter. Okay, so Allison, Peter, we do think is responsible for taking the page out of her closing argument. I'm not 100% sure, though, that the clerk of court, I don't know if they just scanned exactly what they received because we didn't get the envelope. Sometimes they just, they scan it all in and you can see everything. I don't know if they removed some of it because it was over the 5 pages and it wasn't going to be considered. We're really not sure. So I am anticipating Judge Jackson on that one to hopefully leave some kind of, closure in there for us on that. Well, welcome in, Mandy. We're glad you're here. Sorry you had to stay at work late on a Friday. That's a big bummer. But you're off now. Yeah, I think Christina is just living her life now, Cindy. I don't think she's I don't think she's worried about Sarah anymore. I think she's pretty much ghosted her, and that's why Sarah had to call her relatives trying to get a hold of her. Nick Bolt says, nonetheless, I caught this live. I didn't have to plan to watch this futuristically. Know that 3-point back. Very nice. We're glad you're here. Okay, this is a good point. Rita, Australia has 4 time zones, and Sarah called it 10. Very late for calling Australia because it's around midnight, give or take. I did find some more info on Nicole, and it looks like she might be in the Adelaide area of Australia based on what I found. So if you can clock that time zone out of the 4, it might give you kind of a more accurate. That's just what I think. I'm not 100%. But yes. Glass Bandicoot wants one of your books, Larry. Okay, yeah, Sarah is now in laundry, putting staples in everybody's blues. Everybody's getting tailored clothes, a la Sarah. Yeah, so hopefully Christina has just moved on with her life. That's what I hope for her. And I hope that Sarah loses her number and her family's numbers and leaves them alone. All right, so moving on. So she did not call her son all until the night before the trial. She called Nicole 3 times the day of the trial. And then, do you think she waited to call her son till the next day? What are your predictions? Put them in the chat because I'm going to scroll up. What do you think? Who do you think she called after the hearing? What do we think? Lazio Light says Adelaide is in a half-hour time zone. That's weird. So it's like on the half hour? I can't pull up well, I guess I could pull it up on my tablet over here, but I don't want to exit out of this. So Adelaide is on a half hour? I didn't realize that could be. All right, so Arcadir says she thinks that she went ahead and called her son. A Sarah Boone Lego set. A Sarah Boone Lego set is something we did not know we needed, but I would put one together. We would need a Delicious Delights box. We would need a tablet. we would need the little helmet here. Okay, thank you, Rita. So Adelaide is 14 and a half hours ahead of Florida. So wherever Sarah is in Ocala, 14 hours ahead. So if Sarah's calling at 10 in the morning, that means it's about midnight, 12:30 in Adelaide. So I don't know that I would appreciate someone calling me at midnight. I mean, I don't know her life. I don't know her schedule, but fish soap with the Legos. Yes, we need fish soap. Oh, Newfoundland, Canada has a half-hour time zone too. I'm learning new things. I did not know this. All Legos have Sarah Boone hair. Nice point. Yeah. Who said this? Did you tell your dad this and that? All right. The fish soap. Tanika, if you had not gotten those text messages, we would never know about the fish soap. And now it's just a big part of our life. 2 Boston Terriers. Yes, we need the blind and the deaf. So we need one with a bandana around their eyes and one, like with the earmuffs or something so we can know. All right. So who thinks she called her son? Because I'm going to scroll up. So place your bets. Here we go. So here's court at 1 p.m. She had court at 1 p.m., right? So 11:34, she calls Nicole. So this is off a little bit here. This is Nicole. This is her son. She called her son 5 times that evening. He did not answer. Somehow these were all free courtesy calls, but the one to Nicole was a prepaid call. So she had court at 1. She talked to Nicole one more time before court at 11:30. So that would be what? In Adelaide, that would be 12 hours would be 11:30 p.m. So like 2 a.m., 1:30, 2 a.m. She called Nicole before her hearing because Sarah's hearing is more important than someone getting any sleep, right? That's definitely more important. And then she calls her son 5 times. Danielle! Hey Danielle, welcome. Here we are. Here's Danielle. Welcome, Danielle. I love your channel so much. And I love your helmet hair. And I need to make one with my Boonie Crew dolls. We need an army helmet. So what do you guys think about her calling her son? Do you think she was trying to say, were you upset? Were you upset when I didn't call? Or were you upset the last time I called? Or why are you telling your dad I'm upset? Do you think she called to like actually just talk to him about his life? I don't. Oh, thanks, Danielle. I'm enjoying making the content and I'm enjoying watching you guys' content. Happy Friday. Okay, so Sophie says she was calling to get to him before he could talk to Brian and bitch at him about what she learned in court. My favorite part of the family court hearing was when she was supposed to be questioning Brian and she said, and I will tell you this. And the judge just cut her off. You're not telling anybody anything. That was my favorite moment of that. That and the Brian, that was my second favorite of the hearing. And shout out to everybody who went or called in and got us that priceless recording. So yeah, she calls her son 5 times. And then the next day she's trying him again. She talks to Nicole first at 11 in the morning. Okay. Which for 30 minutes, which again, for her would be 1:30 to 2 a.m. And she did get a hold of her. And then she called her son several times and didn't get a hold of him. And then she talked to Nicole again. So this is 7 p.m. when she's talking to her. Or wait, no. This is Nicole up here. So it looks like she tries Nicole between 9 and 11 in the morning most days. Today is a good day to have a good day because it's Friday. Oh, this was a good moment too. Yeah, Brian. That's my favorite. And don't you know her work schedule? So, okay. And what do you think about now that we know what her work was? Because she did ask Brian, are you aware of my job and what I have to do? Why do you think doing laundry would prevent her from calling her son? What does that have to do? What do you think she meant by that? What does that have to do? What does that have to do with her calling or not? I don't understand. Yeah, this was a great moment too when Brian said, I don't care. Why do you not care? She wants the judge to literally order Brian to care. We don't care. Well, we care. We care. And I question myself for caring so much as I do, but here we all are. I mean, we can be in a support group together. She does stay on the phone all day. Earlier, I was saying how I pulled another inmate's call log when I ordered Sarah's, and it was like a third of the amount of time. She had been there longer than Sarah by about 2 months. She is a person who had 3 young children with her parent that live with her parents now. So she would probably be wanting to call them, but yet she made a third of the amount of time on the phone as Sarah. So she definitely stays on the phone way too much. Here we go. We give all the F's that Brian doesn't. I almost said that word. All day and night. All day and night. She's on that tablet or that phone. This is funny. She's asked multiple judges to require multitudinous people to care about her and just be nice to her. Why can't you just be nice to her? Oh, yeah. Don't forget to hit the like button, everybody. Appreciate you. Snoopy appreciates it. You could see he really enjoyed making that video, right? He's like, stop trapping me. I don't care about this. Okay. So, okay, for this question, I don't think if they don't pick up, I don't think it charges anything. Also, I highlighted over here on the right when they're free. I'm not sure. So the phone call company says they get 2 free 5-minute calls per month. It didn't really say when they can use those calls or how they can choose to use them or not. But then there's also these free courtesy marketing. So I don't know how that pops in. I agree. She is very worried about being forgotten and alone. And even being alone with herself. I think that's why she makes so many calls and like incessant messaging, because she doesn't want to be alone with her thoughts. She doesn't want to think about what she's done. She doesn't want to think about how she got here. She doesn't want to self-reflect. So she's always... You said, can she make calls from the toilet? I don't know. It's possible. I don't want to be a recipient of that call. So yeah, she called her son several times after court and the following day. All right, let's take a look here. What else we have? Oh, let's look at when her closing was due. Sorry about the scrolling. It's way up here though. So here's when her closing was due to be postmarked on the 2nd. And let's see who she was calling. Tanika, I believe you already covered some of this. But she made a lot of calls the day before her closing was due to be postmarked. Now, there's been a lot of people in the chat about it was on time, this and that. So if you see she's calling Nicole, she's calling her brother, she's calling Nicole, she's calling Peter, her brother, Nicole, Peter, Nicole, and her brother. Those are the only people she called the day before the postmark. And then the day of, she called Peter twice, her brother, and Nicole. None of them were accepted. So I don't know. No, these are off a little bit. It was Peter, Peter, and then her brother. So I don't know. She didn't get a hold of anyone. Do you guys think that Peter just didn't send all the pages? Or do you think that the court cut out what was over the pages? So what do you think? Yes, I love Paul reporting live from my sofa. Did you guys see his latest video where he made the bad lip reading? He did it for 2 or 3 different. He did it for Sarah Boone. I think he might have done it with Donna Adelson. But he is hilarious. He cracks me up so much. But he did some bad lip reading and just made up whatever he thought they were saying. It's pretty good. Oh, here's a title for your book, Larry. May I submit a title? Unintentional Sarah Boone, The Suitcase K. Unintentional, but also intentional. Please stop doing this to me. Please stop doing this to me, she says to someone she's taking their life, right? So she's called several people on the postmark date. Okay, and then I do have, I think Nicole changed her number again. So there was a new number that I thought I looked it up and it belonged to someone, but it didn't add up. And then Nicole did confirm that she changed her answer. So the last time she had talked to Nicole was on the 12th, and then she changed to a new number here. And it's off a little bit, but you can see she misdialed it a couple of times. And then these were all free calls. So she starts calling Nicole's new number on the 15th. So Nicole changed her number again. And then, let's see. You guys, it's Friday, which I always look forward to, but I am very disappointed every Friday that we come to and we don't have our ruling. Okay. It's very sad to get to a Friday and be sad about it because we don't have our ruling. Oh, thank you, Missy. I got my first super chat in my first live. Thank you so much. Thank you, Missy Lou. And thank you, Danielle Chavon, for the cakes. And for the wine, which we all need. I hope you're enjoying some right now. Cindy Buchanan says she's been calling her Scaraloon. I love this. So whenever I'm typing her name in the court docket, the R and the T are right next to each other. So a lot of times I'll type SATA, and then I'll realize I almost typed the word Satan before I get to the end of it. Has anybody else done that? Anybody else checking the docket as often as I am? Because that's kind of a sad thing. Yeah, everybody likes that one, Cindy. Scaraloon. So what do you guys think about, let's see. So, okay, let me share this poll. I put this poll up about, hold on one second. Stand by. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this post. So I put this up about an hour ago. It's kind of small, but these were the things I had. Her job assignment, her call log, but a lot of you guys wanted to talk about family court case predictions. So let's get into that. When do you think we're going to have the ruling? When do you think we're going to hear something? I keep saying, oh, hopefully it'll be Monday. It'll be Monday. And Monday comes and there's nothing. And then Friday comes and there's nothing. So when are we going to get the ruling? What do you guys think? And what do you think the judge is going to say? Do you think she's going to just abandon everything Brian proposed and adopt Sarah's like Sarah told us to? Oh yeah, she's eating your peach. That's a hilarious scene, by the way, that he picked, that SKR. Shout out to SKR for the great memes that we all think in our head. Yeah, and that's a good point. We don't know. We don't know why we didn't see the envelope. We don't always see the envelope. Sometimes we do. But I don't know if he postmarked it and mailed it, do you think? Or do you think that he like digitally filed it? Okay, Larry says whether it was Peter forgetting or leaving the missing pages out intentionally or the court giving the axe to the overage pages intentionally, it's irrelevant. It was Sarah's responsibility. You can't see the rest of it. I don't know if I can make it where you can see the rest of it. I don't think it's going to let me see the rest of the comment, but I'll read it. It was Sarah's responsibility. Oh, I agree. Brian's son's birthday cannot come. His 18th birthday cannot come soon enough. Okay, so Miss Frida says Brian is going to win this fight. And I agree with you. I mean, because he just came across as more reasonable, right? He came across as the level-headed person when he was being questioned versus when she was being questioned. Brian came across as patient, thinking of the child first. He proposed things that were, some of them, inconvenient to him, and people criticize him for that. And I understand a lot of people saying, oh, I wouldn't do anything. You know, I would think she should get nothing. But when you're in family court and you're going before a judge, you don't want to look like you're a total jerk. You know, you don't want to just act like, oh, this person should get nothing. But that's what Sarah wrote. You should not do anything in Brian's plan and do everything in mine. So who's going to look more reasonable, Sarah or Brian? Is Sarah going to look reasonable saying, don't give him anything he wants, give me everything I want, and yet this all could have been avoided if we went to mediation, when she's not willing to, you know, compromise on anything ever? Oh yeah, we do know that Sarah is going to write another letter if she gets tired of waiting for the judge's ruling, and if she does not like the judge's ruling. You are 100% correct. Okay, so whoop, that disappeared. Okay. There's a Florida court rule that outlines the time standards for rulings. It says should, not must. So do you mean that they should be in on time, but not must be in on time? Are you talking about the time? Oh, Sophie, there's no way she'll like the judge's ruling no matter what it is. She's going to be mad because she cannot help herself but be upset no matter what. Even if she wrote the ruling herself, okay, I feel like she would still have something to complain about it because she just complains about everything. Okay, so we think it'll be a wash, like one will offset the other, like financially. So her alleged child support obligation that she hasn't been able to fulfill will offset the alimony. I agree with that. I think that at least it will reduce it. And that's what Brian's attorney was asking for. You're right, Larry. So, okay. Oh, okay. So she would complain even if she wrote it. That is correct. This is so true. She always hears what she wants to hear, because think about how many times the judge had to repeat herself. And not just this judge, Judge Dean, Judge Cranick, all of the judges that she's had have been very clear, but yet she doesn't understand. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's confused, and then is aggravated when other people, she perceives them to be confused. Okay, so Lazulite said it's easy to find Florida Rule 2.85. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Florida 2. Okay. Standards for trial. All right, let me share this. All right, so, whoops. All right, judges and lawyers have a professional obligation to conclude litigation as soon as it is reasonably and justly possible to do so. However, parties and counsel shall be afforded a reasonable time to prepare and present their case. The trial judge shall take charge of all cases at an early stage in the litigation and shall control the progress of the case thereafter until the case is determined. The trial judge shall take specific steps to monitor and control the pace of litigation, including continuous control of the court calendar, priority cases, docket control policies, identifying cases subject to alternative dispute resolution, developing rational, effective trial setting policies, advancing the trial setting of priority cases. Continuances, time standards. Okay, this is what you were referencing, right? Okay, so we have criminal, misdemeanor, civil, 18 months. So hers is well over that. Why do I just sound like Grover from the Muppets? The following time standards are hereby established as a presumptively reasonable time period for the completion of cases in the trial. Okay, I was just making sure you can see that. And it is recognized that there are cases that, because of their complexity, present problems and cause reasonable delays. But that's not what is happening with Sarah in every case. Most cases should be completed within the following time period. So non-jury cases, 12 months filing to final disposition. And then it's, okay, so domestic is a whole nother section here. Domestic is even less. Uncontested, 90 days. Contested, 180. She's well over that. Thank you for sharing that, Lazulite. Lazulilite. Brian, I can see him. I think, yeah, Sarah definitely takes victimhood to the next level. Everything is just a dramatic, definite, like, terrible. Yeah, and the delays were from her, which is why I think he requested the attorney's fees. And she wrote in her closing that having an attorney is a choice. But it's a good choice. It's a smart choice. Just because you can't get one. Yeah. Brian, football games are more fun than prison. The fact that she wrote that thinking it was a gotcha to Brian, she says, if football games don't take priority, he's willing to come. Yeah, well, your son should be able to go do fun things that he is interested in. He should not have to be mandated to go to the prison every X day of the month because that's what's most convenient. And I don't know if you guys saw the video where I talked about the visitation guidelines, but it is very, very stringent and time consuming to schedule the visitation. Every week, there's a specific day you have to get your request in. They'll let you know if you can come. If something happens where they're closed down or they're on lockdown, they're going to cancel it. If the inmate themselves have lost visitation privileges, they're going to cancel it. So, that's a lot of planning and things they're going to have to push off of their calendar so they can go visit her. And a lot of people in the chat were saying that she can't like physically touch him. They're going to be through a screen. I don't know whether she can like physically touch him or not. I did see negative earned, Sarah. No, you can't have your visitation. I did see on Pierce Morgan, he did the Women in Prison series. I don't think that's exactly what it was called, but he did like a female prison interviews, and he did some at Lowell, and he did it in this room, and in the background were like the little not cubicles, but like the little dividers with the glass where you would sit and talk to someone on the phone through the glass. So that was actually at Lowell. And if that's the case, they're just going to be able to look at each other, which is just like doing a video chat. No, I don't see the big deal. Okay, so Kathleen says, when Brian calculated child support owed by Boone, he used hourly wage, $8.65 rate in 2020. In 2025, yes, the rate is $14 per hour. He is being reasonable. So he even reduced the amount she would owe based off of when she entered, not the current minimum wage. Because we talked about this, right? When parents go to family court and they're deciding child support, if there is a parent or both parents that are unemployed, they calculate that you owe based off of a 40-hour work week minimum wage, even if you're not employed. So they would calculate that to be their responsibility, what they could, because they assume you at least can do that much. Now, of course, if you're incarcerated, you can't. But yeah, they would have used. So that is more than reasonable because that's almost half what the current minimum wage would be. So yes. And this, I'm not sure. I know there's a 6-hour window that they can come on Saturdays and Sundays. I think it's like 9 to 4, something like that. But I don't think that they can stay the whole 6 hours. So I'm not 100% sure. It didn't specify how long. Sarah requested the maximum amount of time, right? That is allowed, but she didn't say how long that was. I don't know if she knows. But, people have speculated it could be anywhere from a half hour to 2 hours, because if one person's there the whole 6 hours, then other people can't rotate through and visit their loved ones. So I don't know what she thinks the maximum amount of time is. Yeah, this is true. In prison, you do not make minimum wage, but that is how they calculate what you should be able to contribute. I don't know that they can, even if they impute child support to her, she's obviously not going to be able to pay it. But that doesn't, I haven't deep dived into all the case law. She wanted to cite, well, being incarcerated doesn't, remove the rights of parenting and this and that. But I also don't think it removes the child support obligation. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, Mandy says she thinks the son does want to see her. Brian would not have offered if he didn't. Because I do think you're right. I do think Brian, he often talks about the best interest of the child. I do think that he is trying to do that, whether it's comfortable for Brian or not. And that's truly what you want in co-parenting. You want both parents to be thinking about the child. And obviously in this situation, Brian is doing that. And yeah, the son does speak to Sarah many times for the full 30 minutes. So, we have to remember that we're all looking at this through the eyes of adults with experience in relationships, experience with narcissistic people. Children, even 14, 15, have not come to that realization, especially if your mother is that way, you don't always see it until much later in your life. So we do have to remember that Brian has to realize that his son is going through this. It's traumatic to say the least, and he wants to be able to provide him with as much normalcy as possible in this situation. It's such an odd situation. Yes, she expects the full 6 hours for the kid to be able to come and go and have privacy. But the visiting guidelines did say that Brian had the minor, if you're under, I think 16, that you have to be accompanied by an adult the entire time. So Brian's going to have to be there, and he has to fill out a waiver for someone else to come besides him. He has to fill out and sign a waiver for someone who's not his legal guardian to accompany him. And honestly, who would you ask to do that? Like someone you hate? I don't know who I would ask to do that for me. No, I would not want to do it. But I also wouldn't want to put anyone else through that. Oh. Okay. She doesn't need to earn minimum wage. She's getting alimony from 2020 to 2022 because Brian didn't file the modification straight away. Right. So lots of case law on imputing wages and withholding the alimony. So Tanika's saying that even if she's awarded the alimony from before Brian filed that modification, that they can kind of like withhold that to meet her child support obligation. That is interesting. I'm trying to find a comment up here. Someone said, yes, this is true. She is still in close confinement and her visiting is more restricted than the general population. So it's even more stringent for her to get the visitation scheduled. And I wonder if it's Sarah's responsibility or if Brian has to do that. Okay, I'm looking for a comment. Somebody said, who said this? Why does Pierce Morgan think he's qualified to specifically talk about women who commit crimes? I couldn't tell you that. But I watch a lot of true crime, and I just recall his little series. Oh, Larry. Sarah will call the stadium and have Brian paged over the big screen. Brian, answer my calls. This is too much. Can you imagine, like, on the ticker, like, let me change my ticker. So here we go. Add a new ticker. Here's what it's going to say, Larry. Are you ready? Here's the new ticker on the stadium. That is so hilarious. All right, I'm just going to leave that one up because that cracked me up. Somebody in the chat said they went to a men's prison, but then that just disappeared. Hi, Snoopy. Snoopy has a little video for you guys. Yes, most people here share that opinion. I lost the comment where someone said they visited the men's prison. Ooh, this is good. Mandy Strong says, I read in their divorce that the alimony will be considered income for Sarah. That's what you were saying, right, Tanika? Location doesn't matter, right, Sarah? And yes, I do agree with this, Sandra. Sarah doesn't care about her son's needs or wants. It's all about her, which is why if I were writing a closing argument, my first page would have been about my son and his needs. But what was Sarah's first page? Does everybody remember? It was about alimony. Because of course it was, because that's why she's doing any of this. And then she kept saying that Brian was in contempt when the judge clearly stated that her motion for contempt had not been ruled upon. I cannot find that comment about someone who visited the men's prison. It like disappeared so quick. I'm sorry. I wanted to show that one. Exactly. Her first page was about money. She talked about alimony. She talked about child support. She talked about attorney's fees. And then she mysteriously talked about a parenting plan that got lost. Oh, this is a good point, Rita. Sarah wants to get visitation ordered by a judge so she can try to use the order to make the prison override whatever policy they have in place. That reminds me of her criminal trial when she kept asking Judge Cranick to make the jail let her have paper copies and let her have the laptop for whatever time she wanted and let her have this and that. And the judge, you remember what he said? I'm not in a position to tell the jail anything. Like, he can order her to be transported to court for a hearing. Oh, thank you, Jenny B. I'm still trying to, okay, let's see. Let me see if I can find it. Jenny B. Bear with me. I just started using this streaming platform today, so I'm not as familiar with it as I'd like to be. I don't know if I can find that. I'm looking. Let me slow down the scroll. But yeah, I can't. She really is disgusting. And, it's like she's so grotesque that that's why we're all tuning in. Because we can't believe the audacity. So who thinks we might get a ruling this week? I say this every week. I think we'll get it on Monday, but we might not. How long do you think she can wait? Danielle says, Judge Jay is going to write a book, and I'll buy that too. Here it is. Yay, Jenny B. Okay, Jenny B said she visited in men's Lowell prison in person in visiting center. We were allowed to go outside with the inmate enclosed by wire guards around 6 hours unless full sometimes. Okay. So that clears up some, but do you think Sarah being in close custody affects whether or not she can walk around outside or anything like that? And Mandy says she cannot see the judge court ordering 12 visitations a year. Do you think that, because Sarah asked 1 to 2 a month, Brian said 1 a month. Do you think the judge is going to rule 12 minimum a year? Yes, this I have heard too. All the food is in vending machines and only visitors can have cash. If they're there for hours, I'm sure she will hit him up for food for her medical reasons, right? For her diabetes you remember when she asked for the snacks in her criminal trial, James Owen said, she's not diabetic, but she has a blood sugar issue. So it's like something she made up in her head. That's what I deduced from that. I'm like, so Owens had to say she's not diabetic, but she has a low blood sugar issue. No one else in that courtroom had snacks. Not the judge, not the lawyers, not the jury. So why does the inmate think they deserve snacks in the courtroom? You want to be munching on popcorn while we're talking about someone losing their life? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Jenny B says the men's prison is also all machine junk food. No milk, very limited, expensive junk. So is it even, Jenny B, is it even marked up more than regular vending machines, is it even worse than hospital vending machines or wherever? Like when you're at the car mechanic? Sarah craves a sugar high. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I am going to get the call logs out into a video. So the last time I did a call log was June. I requested these call logs in August because I wanted to wait till after the family court hearing. So I sent the request at the end of August and I just got them in October. So I don't know why I don't know why they are taking so long to process, but I'm glad that they waited because now I have through when Sarah wrote the letter. So I'm going to do the call logs for July, August, September, October. But do you guys want me to go ahead and do like around the court hearing first? And do you want me to do, and of course I'll do the chart totals at the end. Oh, thank you, Mandy. Let me react here. Thank you. 1999 Mandy Sarah told Judge Dean that she had higher than average brain function. What would Sarah consider average? A rock. Yeah. She did tell Judge Dean that in the in one of her letters, yes, that she had higher than average. She definitely said that. And Missy Leo, you were right. She is a liar. Son gets $10 a week from dad. Maybe Sarah will expect him to pay for snacks. Don't make him use his allowance. Boone replaced alcohol with sugar. I've heard that from several people, Kathleen, that alcoholics like crave sugar and coffee. And if you think about like all the, I've never been to Alcoholics Anonymous, but all the ones that I've seen portrayed on TV, they have like donuts and coffee, right? Kathleen says that's pretty common. Or Missy Lou says that's pretty common at Kathleen. She better not ask her son to pay for snacks, but she will. You know what I bet she would do? She would say, hey, you and I are hungry, right? And it would be really nice if your dad would bring us money so we could get some snacks out of the vending machine, wouldn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like I could see her kind of like demonizing him in that way. Jenny B, I did read this. No cash, only debit cards, some sort of good sandwiches, fruit, very expensive. I'm diabetic, shouldn't eat any of it. But Jenny B, Sarah also claims to be somewhat diabetic. Not exactly, but kind of. And she loves to eat it. Yes, Sarah will guilt trip her son to buy her snacks from his $10 allowance or have him pressure Brian to bring money for that. Since sliced bread, she's going to get those snacks one way or another. Cupcakes and cameos. My brother was a full-blown alcoholic for over a decade. He's been clean for 3.5 years. Yay! But he drinks at least 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day with a lot of cream and sugar. Well, I drink at least 2 to 3 cups of coffee or caffeinated beverages a day, so I cannot really judge him. Yes, Sarah has a special kind of diabetes. We have to remember that she's not diabetic. Like Owen said, I'm going to have to find that clip and add it to my next video. She's not diabetic, but she has some kind of low blood sugar, and the meals the jail provide are just not enough for her, Judge. So ridiculous. Okay, so I am going to do the call log videos. We're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to my first live. I'm honored that all of you were here. Yes, Sarah has diabetes. That's the special kind of diabetes. And Danielle, I have seen blue smiling face. Danielle, I've seen you have that in your images. Diabetes. I love it. Yeah, I have thought this too because I work in pharmacy. If you have low blood sugar, we do not give patients, like I work in a hospital, we don't give patients honey buns when they have low blood sugar. We give them a dextrose strip, a dextrose, like 5% dextrose, or we'll give them glucagon. So there's glucose and dextrose are 2 medical forms of, we have glucose tablets, we have glucose injections, we have dextrose IV drip. So we would not be giving someone a honey bun from the pharmacy. Like we don't have those in the pharmacy. I can verify that for a fact. I've worked at many pharmacies. We do not have any kind of honey buns, Zuzus, or Wham Whams, or any ding dongs or whatever. We have glucagon, glucose shots, glucose tablets, and dextrose. That's what we have. Exactly. The prison would have to provide glucose tablets, glucose injection, because that's a real emergency. Like people can code, they can page a code blue for someone's blood sugar getting so low that they can go into shock, and we have to have the code blue team come out. So if she were really having a real issue with that, they would have glucose prescribed to her by the jail pharmacy, and the nurse would come and either give her the tablets or administer the shot or whatever, because she would have to probably wear a monitor to tell them too if she was going into a diabetic shock. So she just wants a snack. Okay, her stomach is growling and she thinks it's diabetes. That's what it is. Okay, it's not, it's diabetes. I know. We cannot wait for the judge's order, Missy Lou. So as soon as it comes out, if it comes out Monday or Tuesday, I'm off. I'll be able to record it and I'll check throughout the day. But hopefully, if it comes out Wednesday too, I should be able to. But then I'll be working overnight. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, behind closed doors, I bet he did. I bet he did, Missy Larry. He was like, this is the craziest. So not only did she request the snacks, but she requested the hair and makeup. Like this, he's probably like, the audacity of this woman. He probably never heard anything like that. And then she actually got Owens to write the order request. All right, Gwen says she's diabetic and she carries glucose tablets in case she has a low blood sugar reading. Exactly, because like that, or you would have to have like a soda, a full sugar soda, or something like that you could take that would instantly help your blood sugar. Go ahead and let her code, Kathleen says. The lion, the witch, the audacity of this bitch. That's funny. I try to be Cindy. A lot of times it's just because I work overnight. So as soon as I get home, I'll check the docket. And if it's there, I'll just go ahead and record it and throw it out there. So sorry if you hear some heavy breathing in there. If I'm reading really fast, then I don't edit it all out. How will we learn the information in Judge Jackson's ruling, and will it be published? I'm learning how to use this live software. So if it is, I could go live. I can try. We'll have to just see what's going on at that time. I have kids and dogs, so anything could happen. Anything could happen at any time. Oh, thanks, Dandy. I appreciate you being a part of it. Oh, where did you go? Did you sleep? Yes, I do sleep during the day. Yeah, orange juice is good when you're diabetic. That's a good thing to, if you have low blood sugar. Thank you. I so appreciate everyone being a part of it. I'm going to give you all one pause for being here. I'll happily do my best. I had to check in with the teenagers in my house to see if I was using the software correctly. And I want to give a big shout out to Arcaderu, who helped me test the live before we went out. I did, you might have seen me earlier. I accidentally went public. I think I had like 7 views. I meant to do not public and do a test, but yes, Tanika, they would have to give her the glucose tablets, or they couldn't give her a glucose injection to carry around because of the syringe and the needle, but they would have to give her the glucose tablets, and they would have to give her some kind of monitor where she could let the jail nurse know, or that would automatically alert whoever's on staff that she needed a glucose injection, and they would have to come down and give it to her, because they can't let her carry around a syringe, obviously. But yeah. Yes, this is beautiful, right? That we will know before Sarah knows. Where did that go? We will know before Sarah knows. That's the beautiful thing. Thank you. I tried really hard. Let me try to scroll back up here. Somebody said, Yeah, they can't just let inmates they can't let inmates just be dropping left and right over a glucose tablet. That would be bad news. Somebody said, I can't find it, but somebody said that at least we will know. Here it is. Kathleen, the beauty is we will know what the order is before Boone, and Boone will have to find out from Nicole because Peter has not talked to her since September 14th. On the call log I have from, it goes through October 8th. Peter's not on there since September 14th. That's the last time she talked to Peter. So look forward to that call log coming out. I'm going to try to record it this weekend. So hopefully by Monday, I'll have that edited. And you guys, it's adding it up on the chart that takes the most time. So hopefully I'll have all that done. And I really appreciate you all being here. I'm going to go ahead and run the outro. I have another, a little Snoopy outro. It's just kind of, well, it's not as cute as the intro, but thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate all your support and we will do this again soon. I'll put another, I know. I so wish the calls were public. Let me see if I can show you what they sent me. Hold on. Let me pull my email up. So let's see. Oh, this isn't the one. Well, they basically told me that it was not available. Is what they told me. I've asked multiple times. And I've also asked about another case I'm following in Putnam County, Florida. And that inmate is at the local jail. And they said the same thing, that I couldn't get, but her case is still pending. But they said I couldn't get the calls or tablet messages, that I would need a subpoena. That's what they told me in Putnam County. So I'm trying, but I keep getting denied. Like Sarah's going to get. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to roll the outro and I will see you all in the comments and the replay crew. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everybody.